Hello, welcome back to Pretty.conspiracy. This is Kay, formerly of K No Sports, and I was watching the NBA channel last night, and they had a series of, I guess, special tributes to Kobe Bryant. And one of the shows that they played last night around 11 o'clock was the Kobe, the interview. And I had never seen that one before. It originally aired on February 14th, 2015, so it's 5 years ago. And in the interview, Kobe Bryant is 36 years old. He's been interviewed by Ahmad Rashad, who everybody remembers from Inside the NBA. I hadn't seen him in years. And it's a very in-depth interview showing Kobe's transitioning from a 17-year-old entering the league until about that time he was almost ready to retire. I think a year before his retirement. And something he said caught me because he said having Phil Jackson as his head coach in Los Angeles, what he learned from Phil Jackson was he learned spirituality from Phil Jackson. So he says he learned his spirituality from him. And I was like, wow. It never dawned on me that a lot of Kobe's beliefs and probably his practices was inspired by Phil Jackson, who we all know Phil Jackson he's a mystic or into a Kabbalah and all of that. And so it all made sense now because Kyrie Irving, who was under the tutelage of Kobe Bryant, is also into that. So Kobe was under the tutelage of Phil Jackson, as was Michael Jordan. We have to remember that. So there's a connection there. And it's been said that Phil Jackson was not only a great coach, of course, but also a handler and probably an MK Ultra programmer to some extent. But it makes sense because Kobe, when he speaks sometimes, he talks about his work ethic and his training ethic. It was just mind-blowing. And athletes who have that kind of work, that training ethic and that work ethic, they usually go into a trance. So I wonder if he was like channeling something, like this ability just to black out everything and become somebody else. Because you remember, he tore his Achilles, but he still was able to make those free throws. He said something to the effect of, it hurt, but he felt like his life was on the line, like his basketball life was on the line. I think that is a mind thing, That's not even, it was like mind over matter. And you see it with a lot of different people, actors, they go into the trance, right? So I feel like that's what Phil Jackson instilled in Kobe. And there could have possibly been some mind control there. It all starting to make sense to me. It really is. And his whole, I think, being a part of the occult and dark arts and these little secret societies and possibly being under some type of mind control. it all starts to make sense. But I wanted to say that because that was the first time I ever heard Kobe say that. And it just was interesting. I was like, oh, wow. So this is kind of where it all began for him. And remember, Phil Jackson, after Kobe's passing, called him, he was a chosen one, was to quote him. And you remember, like I said in the other videos, about there could only be one king of LA. Who was called the chosen one? LeBron James. Did he call himself the chosen one? He has it tattooed on his back, but yeah, he was called the chosen one when he was 15, 16 years old. He was called the chosen one. And that was by ESPN, that was by everybody, the hype of LeBron, even before he got into the NBA. So it's funny how that phrase is thrown around. And then you have the King James, and it just makes you seem like larger than life. And it makes me wonder, who was LeBron James under the tutelage of? Because it wasn't Phil Jackson. It had to be somebody. I'll have to research that. Because I definitely think he was on the tutelage of somebody. And but interesting show, if you get to check it out. It was on NBA channel. They're probably gonna show it again. Is Kobe the interview with Ahmad Richard, and then they also had another one on there. Shaq and Kobe did an interview together back in 2018. So it was a lot of interesting tributes to him on the NBA channel, and it's, I think, worthy of checking out. So I will talk to you later.